Hello, Elisa.
Thank you very much for this interview. Do you want to say your name maybe?
Lukas Van Vyve from Belgium.
What languages do you speak and how many of them do you use for work?
My mother tongue is Dutch. I also speak English and German, which I studied at university. I also speak French and Italian. These are the main languages that I speak at a good level. Then I speak some Spanish as well. The ones that I use for work. So if I do translation work, it's mainly German and English into Dutch or the other way around. For my language teaching company, so the courses we create, we do it in all these languages. So French, Italian, Spanish, German, and I write everything in English for this course as well, all the marketing and everything.
Is your language company your only source of income?
So it is my only source of income, yes, but there's two parts to it. So I have one side, I have the translation work that I do once in a while, which is with private clients. And then on the other hand, I have the language courses we create. So and these are separate sources of income, but it's under one umbrella, of course. But I would say it's more or less 40% translation work, 60% the courses.
And how long did it take you to get where you are?
I started 2 years ago with both after I graduated. So it took me 2 years more or less to be where I am right now.
How many hours do you work per day, or how many hours did you work per day to achieve what you have now?
I think more or less a normal work day, or maybe a little bit less. So I think I work around 6 hours a day maybe, but I do weekends as well. So even in the weekend, I would work a couple of hours on Saturday, a couple of hours on Sunday, but nothing crazy, not like 12 hours a day or so. I've never really done that.
Do you think it's possible to make languages the main way of supporting oneself?
I definitely think it's possible. And there's different roads you can take. If you do translation work, I've studied translation and interpretation at university. So if you do one of these things, you can earn a lot of money actually. And especially with translation work, you normally get paid per word. So if you're fast and if you're good, you can make a lot of money, really. And it's more difficult, of course, to start a company like creating language courses because you need to create an audience, learn about marketing. So I'd say that's a little bit more challenging, but I think it's also more rewarding because you get to work with the language, you create something. It's not just getting a text and then translating it without any creative input yourself. But it's easier, I think, to start as or maybe just teaching language is also easier, I think. We really create language courses, so it's different than just teaching.
Of course, you spend time on language courses, but you also had to learn about marketing and many other things. So what do you think at the beginning? Did you work equally on all the things?
I'd say I worked more on learning about marketing and about the business side because I already studied linguistics, translation interpretation at university. So I had my ideas about language learning, more or less. Of course, I needed to develop that. But the only way to develop that into a product, I think, is through learning about the marketing, because you need to know how to market a product. And it's a big part, super important. Now you can have a good product, but if you can't market it, it's difficult. So it's easier if you start with the marketing and then you package your ideas you have, into a product that's easily marketable. I think in the beginning I did much more study on business and marketing and on actual language courses. And even afterwards, once I created the method we use in my language courses, I hired tutors, freelancers to create the courses themselves. I speak languages like French, Italian, Spanish, but I can't create courses on that. It won't be the same than when a native speaker does that. So yeah.
The marketing thing is also something that you like.
Yeah, it's something I like. So once I started learning about that, it became, so it's like going down a rabbit hole, you start learning about it. There's so much to learn, so many things you can do. It can be overwhelming a little bit, but it's transferable, It's not only this language learning company, I have that right now, but all these skills about marketing and about business, you can use it in so many aspects in life. Maybe if you want to start something else, if you like starting companies, if you're an entrepreneur. So it's definitely something I enjoy, yeah.
What are the biggest obstacles you've had to overcome or things you had to learn along the way?
I think for me, it wasn't self-discipline because I love working on my company and I have no problem waking up early in the morning to start working on that. But it's focusing on the right things and knowing what to do, because you have to make so many decisions if you do everything by yourself, especially if you start your own company. Everything you do is okay, am I doing this right? I don't know, should I do this or should I do something else? So focusing on the right things was the most difficult. part, I think. And also putting yourself out there. So if you have an idea, not thinking about it and considering all options for ages, but just trying to do something, put something out there, show to people what you have, and then they'll give you feedback. And if it's bad, okay, so be it. You do something else. But that was difficult for me in the beginning, I think. I always tend to spend a lot of time thinking and planning. And going public with stuff is, I think, was the biggest obstacle for me.
How did you first go public?
I started doing guest posts for other blogs in the language learning industry. At the same time, I was working on my website a little bit. I had a friend of mine who created a logo and some sort of house style, so I had some presence, something I could use. So that's the first thing I did. And then afterwards, I moved more into, building an email list. Facebook ads I did as well. So I learned about Facebook ads. I started doing that a little bit. Then I started creating courses right at the bat, actually. So, I didn't take the normal path of making a lot of videos or writing a lot of blog posts and then afterwards trying to find a product. I started with, doing some guest posts, but then I immediately started creating products as well.
What you would suggest someone else who would like to start?
It depends. It can be a good thing to do, but only if you really know what your market wants. So I did a lot of market research and I learned so many languages. I studied language at university, so I knew more or less what I wanted to create. And I knew there was a market for it because I saw other people were creating similar products. So don't start creating a product you think nobody, if you don't know what people want, of course. But I think many people wait much too long before they create something like a product for the audience. So you can create YouTube videos for years, but then you won't make any money if you don't have anything behind it. So, and I've seen that quite a lot with people who have a big audience, which is good, of course. Audience creation is important, but you also need to have something to give them, if you want to make a living out of this. So I think it's better if you have a little bit of an audience before you start creating a product. So I think I started maybe a little bit too early. It worked out for me, but I think I was lucky. But don't wait too long. Yeah.
And do you have any other tips for someone who aspires to turn their passion for languages into a real job?
Just get started and learn about marketing. It's the only way if you want to. And I think almost the only way to do this is online nowadays. You can also do it, of course, create some sort of language school. But I think the biggest opportunities are online. And the biggest difference between the ones who are just making some videos or the ones who are really making a living out of it is, I think, the ones who know about marketing.
Mm-hmm. So you talk a lot about marketing. So apart from ads, what do you suggest? What people should do about marketing? Reading books about what or in which way should they learn about marketing?
I took some courses, but they can be quite expensive. Some online courses from some of the top marketers. There are good books as well on marketing. Launch by Jeff Walker is a good book. There are the more standard marketing books as well, which are more about know who your customer is, who your prospect is. Create these profiles, these avatars. You can take a whole full university course, on marketing. So it's a really big topic. I read quite a lot of books. I don't know which ones I would recommend for total beginner. Let me see. I think Jeff Walker's book Launch is actually a good start. Or even online videos. A lot of online videos from Jeff Walker, Todd Brown, even the ClickFunnels. A book called Expert Secrets. That's actually a good book to get started. Maybe better than Launch even, yeah. Expert Secrets by Russell Brunson. That's I recommend, yeah.
And do you want to explain more what you do, what you created?
What we do there is we do 3-month challenges with people for German, French, Spanish, or Italian. We take people through a program where they get one lesson every week, not more than that, because I've noticed many people get overwhelmed by so many language learning materials. So we give them one lesson, which is a dialogue. And they have to work their way through that lesson within that week. And then we give them flashcards, give them a transcript, there's audio, there's a translation as well in English. All that is there. And then we also coach them through that. So we give them guidance. We show them how to use materials. And we show them my method for language learning, which is more based on a lot of input and finding chunks, phrases instead of just learning single words and grammar. We do extra training in there. We help them setting up a good routine, setting up immersion, So it's more like a combination of giving them language learning materials, but then not only doing that and then leaving them on their own. We actually help them implement that as well and show them how to use it, when to use it, how to plan it into their day to make sure that they stay on track, how to track their progress. We have an accountability group, etc. So that's the main product that we have, actually.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was really very interesting.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Bye.
Bye bye.